So this is my second video of the day because, well, the first video was about roasting coffee and then making coffee and then drinking coffee. Then I actually had some coffee. And so once I've had some coffee, I'm very motivated to do some more stuff. It's New Year's Day. I don't have to go to work. There's really nothing open today. So I've got nothing better to do than to make some videos. Anyways, about 4 years ago, I self-diagnosed myself as pre-diabetic. I was just kind of fat, and I'm still kind of fat, but not real fat. But anyways, I went to Walmart, got myself a glucose meter, and just started testing my glucose throughout the day. In the morning, in the evening, after I eat, before I eat, just all the time. I was probably testing my glucose 5 to 10 times a day for about 2 weeks. And then I started doing some research and determined that I was indeed pre-diabetic, which means that I had insulin resistance, which is when you consume sugar, your body goes, whoa, that's a lot of sugar. Let's go ahead and pump in some insulin to suppress that so that you don't, I don't know, go nuts. I don't know what happens when all that stuff hits your bloodstream. Which, of course, when you do that, you kind of take a dive from there and you get real tired. So I was noticing that, and I've noticed that I've noticed that whenever I had cookies in the afternoon, I would get tired, and that if I had just carrots or something very light, I didn't get tired after I ate. But I noticed that in my late 30s. And in my late 30s, I was also recommended by my physician to get onto statins because I had high cholesterol. Of course, I said, no, I'm just going to fix it with diet. And I didn't fix it with diet. I just continued to do what I was doing because I was playing soccer and I was active. And I figured that all the negatives that I was doing with my diet could be undone with exercise, which is completely false. I mean, if you're going to be healthy, it's got to be through diet. If you want longevity, you do that through exercise. If you want a long, healthy life, exercise and eat right. I understand it now. Anyways, about 10 years ago, I did not sleep well at all. And I started taking a multivitamin before bed. Because I always thought, well, you know, wouldn't it be, I think any multivitamin, any kind of supplement, and this is my first experiment into supplements, I said, any supplement you take, I would think would be better served at night while your body's sleeping. You're not piling any food on top of it. You're doing nothing anyways. You're sleeping. May as well just take a vitamin. And so I took this multivitamin before bed, and I had the best night's sleep of my life. And I thought, is that just a fluke? And so I just monitored it, and for the next 2 weeks, I just noticed I was getting some great sleep. And I went to work, and I was telling Kyle about it, and Kyle says, well, it's probably magnesium. Of course, a multivitamin was pretty foreign to me anyways. I had no, you never really, maybe I recognized vitamin C in there. That would be it in a multivitamin. But he was telling me about magnesium. He said, yeah, magnesium is important for sleep. And this is something that he told me I would say over 10 years ago. I'm like, magnesium. And sure enough, I looked at this, and there was magnesium in there. But, of course, I didn't know anything about magnesium, but I did take note of it. So a couple months went by, and I went through that entire bottle, had great sleep for a long time, and then I switched to another multivitamin. And that first night, I didn't have a great sleep. And in fact, every night after that, it just got worse and worse. So I started doing research on magnesium. And of course, you start researching magnesium, you learn a whole bunch of stuff. But magnesium oxide is, I don't even know why they sell it, but magnesium oxide is a great diuretic, okay? If you want to clean your body out, take 6 capsules of magnesium oxide, because what it does, and drink a lot of water, because what it does is it gets in your system and starts drawing water into the stomach and in the colon. and it will flush you out. In fact, if you're going to go get a colonoscopy, they will tell you to drink some stuff so that it cleans you out. It is magnesium, mostly magnesium oxide, and it will, but sometimes citrate too, but it will just clean you out. Your body is deficient in magnesium across the board, and it's mostly due to our poor diets. So, but magnesium is important for sleep. It's important for menstrual. If you have tough periods, then you're probably magnesium deficient. And I wasn't born with this knowledge, but I've learned a lot over the past couple of years from people like Gary Brecka, who is a biologist who worked for the insurance industry for a long time. And this guy could tell you, based on your diet, your lifestyle, your age, the month and year that you were going to die, because that's what they did when they were underwriting life insurance policies. They tried to predict if it was a good investment or not based on the day you were going to die. So that's what Gary Brecka did. Dr. Mindy Pelz, P-E-L-Z. She is also very good. Her focus is mostly on women's health. And she also talks a lot about magnesium and fasting and how to regulate your hormones. So if you have trouble with your period or your weight, she is a perfect person to follow on YouTube. These people are basically my inspiration for everything. 18 years ago when I was having my health issues, I didn't know anything about anything, and there wasn't a lot of information out there. So all the digging I did and the conclusions that I came up with were all speculative. I mean, I'm just like, let me try this, let me try that, and then I hear from somebody else, oh, magnesium? Well, let me try magnesium. Then you take a bunch of magnesium, you flush out your body, and you're like, all right, you don't want to take too much magnesium, and you don't want to take the wrong magnesium. But then these people have all come online after Dave Asprey. Dave Asprey, of course, he's the Bulletproof Coffee guy, and he was the one who helped me figure out the best way to drink coffee. And, health isn't about changing things. It's about modified behavior. So I was going to drink coffee, and I was used to putting International Delight into my coffee, which of course was screwing up my body because there were so many chemicals in it. I still wanted to drink coffee. So I start following Dave Asprey, and he starts talking about grass-fed butter and fresh roasted coffee, and in fact, I started using the Celtic sea salt because of Gary Brecka and Dr. Berg. Dr. Berg and Gary Brecka both talk about the benefits of salt, but not table salt, Himalayan sea salt, Celtic sea salt, salts with micronutrients, because all those micronutrients are what your body's craving. And table salt doesn't have any of that. I mean, it's just stripped down, refined, just regular salt. It can be just as detrimental to your health as sugar, because both table salt and sugar are just concentrations of something that itself isn't bad, but when you super concentrate it, it can be bad. And that's really the key to everything, is just, they say moderation, but how do you moderate something that's in super high concentration? You do need glucose for energy, but you don't need super high concentrations of it. Super high concentrations of sugar are put in foods to addict you to those foods. Anyways, back to Gary Brecka, Dr. Mindy Pelz, Dr. Berg. Another lady that I follow is Jessie Inchauspé. I think it's it. Jessie Inchauspé. She is the glucose goddess. All right, some little French girl, very fashionable. I love her style, and I love her cadence and her delivery of the information. If you were not interested in the subject matter, you might still watch her just for her presentation, because she's just that good. And she's got a slight French accent, but her command of the English language is as good as any college-educated American or English-speaking person. She's incredibly easy to understand. Anyways, she is the glucose goddess. But she'll tell you about prediabetes, insulin resistance, and basically how to better manage your day without really changing too many habits. So now let's get into the supplements that I want to talk about. The first thing is magnesium glycinate, right? I buy this on Amazon. In fact, I buy everything on Amazon because why would I want to leave the house and go to the store just to look around and not find what I'm looking for? I hate Amazon because I love Amazon. Anyways, magnesium glycinate is what I use for sleep specifically, and I'll take 2 or 3 capsules before bed with some ashwagandha, which I don't have on here, but I do have over there, and glutathione. I've found that magnesium glycinate, ashwagandha, and glutathione will help me get the absolute best sleep. And glutathione helps regenerate some of your cells. I'm not sure exactly what it does, but Dr. Berg probably will tell you about glutathione. Everybody is magnesium deficient. I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice. This is just what I've learned over the years from people who know more than me. Magnesium glycinate. Okay. If you put cinnamon on anything and you want to help regulate your blood sugar a little bit, don't just use regular cinnamon that you get from the store. The regular cinnamon you get from the store smells, I think it's Saigon cinnamon. It smells like cinnamon. It smells great, but it doesn't have the same benefits as Ceylon cinnamon. Ceylon cinnamon, I don't know if you can read that. Anyways, I got this brand from Amazon too. I don't know if it's a good brand. What I do is I usually buy 2 or 3 brands of anything, whether it be ashwagandha, ginseng, glutathione, NAD, NAC, whatever I'm taking. I get 2 or 3 and try them all out until I find something that I really like. If you do a little bit of research, you'll see that cinnamon is very good for blood sugar. So if you take this like before you eat breakfast in the morning, if you're gonna have carbs, you're gonna have waffles, which I love waffles. I also love cookies. I've got no willpower. You put a plate of cookies in front of me, I'm gonna eat them because I've got no willpower. But like at work, I've got berberine. I don't have Ceylon cinnamon, and berberine is something else that I take. I got a ton of supplements, man. But I wanted to touch on these specifically. So Ceylon cinnamon, just take like 2 capsules of this before you eat breakfast, before you consume coffee. If you're going to put some sweetener in there, put some Ceylon cinnamon in your coffee, or take the capsules. You're probably better off taking the capsules. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a little cinnamon in your throat, and you're going to end up with an itchy throat. Ceylon cinnamon for helping control blood sugar before you eat. The other thing is a digestive enzyme. Now, I love these digestive enzymes. These are from Whole Foods. Get my glasses on here. These come with pepsin, pancreatine, lipase. Okay, you want lipase and papain from papaya. Okay, and it's got a lot of the papain and lipase. But these help break down proteins, break down sugars, and kind of move things through so that your body doesn't store them as fat. Usually when you're consuming, especially with the standard American diet, the SAD diet, you've got a lot of things that you really shouldn't be consuming. I mean, you think about in the wild, were there Pringles out in the wild? I mean, were you able to pull a can of Pringles off of a tree and eat it in the wild? Of course you weren't. If you look at the ingredient list, Pringles or any kind of store-bought bread, there's a ton of ingredients in there. And I think I told you earlier, bread is literally just flour, salt, and water. That's what bread is supposed to be. But bread that's made of salt, flour, and water is also going to get mold if you leave it out for a couple of days. Okay, it's going to get moldy. Store-bought bread doesn't get moldy. It doesn't get stale. It's a miracle. But they've got a bunch of stuff in there to suppress the mold and anything that might spoil the bread. Same thing with Pringles. Or any Doritos, any of those ultra processed foods. They've got a bunch of ingredients that you should not be putting into your body. But if you're out, you're having pizza somewhere, bring your digestive enzymes, and the digestive enzymes will help break everything down and move everything through. Most of the time, everybody's gut biome is all screwed up anyways. You take antibiotics destroy your gut biome. All that bacteria is breaking down food and moving it through and putting it to where it needs to go. When you take antibiotics, you destroy all that gut bacteria, or a lot of it, especially most of the good bacteria, because it's killing bad bacteria and good bacteria. And the best way to restore that is with digestive enzymes, sauerkraut, pickles, things like that, kefir. There's a whole bunch of other stuff, but good natural foods. Okay, you want to restore the gut biome. But anyways, most people are having trouble with their gut biome. So if you start taking a digestive enzyme before you eat, and then if you're consuming a lot of sugar, take a little Ceylon cinnamon, you will find yourself losing weight and getting more regular. Jessie Inchauspé, the glucose goddess, she loves vinegar, okay? I don't know that she actually loves vinegar, but she does sound like she loves vinegar. What she'll talk about is putting just a half teaspoon of vinegar into a full glass of water before you eat. Do that before every meal. Just get in the habit. I just keep this on the counter, and over by the water dispenser, I've got a zero filter water dispenser, and just put a dash of vinegar in there into my glass, fill it up, and I'll drink that, and that will also keep you from getting glucose spikes. So of course these people know more than I do, so follow these people. But anyways, this is really good for your glucose. So if you're pre-diabetic, put a dash of this, just a dash, because you put too much, it's going to burn your throat, and then you'll end up really raspy, and you won't be able to make YouTube videos, okay? If with a raspy voice. Nobody wants to listen to your raspy voice on YouTube. So be careful. So that's my video about the supplements that I take, and yeah, I take a bunch of supplements. What I'll do is I'll make some videos over the next coming days and just focus on one specific supplement and the people who you should follow to learn more about these things. These are my #1 people: Gary Brecka, Dr. Mindy Pelz, Dr. Berg, and Jessie Inchauspé, the glucose goddess. All right, and really, you should just follow her because she is just a joy to watch.